With the second pick in the 2022 MLB Draft, the Arizona Diamondbacks select Druw Jones, an outfielder from Wesleyan High School in Norcross, Georgia. The Texas Rangers have the next pick.
The Diamondbacks do go with Druw Jones, 6'4", 180.
Sorry,
He's the son of the 10-time Gold Glover, Druw Jones. What a year he had in high school. Hit .570, 13 home runs, and Druw Jones is in our draft spotlight.
My name is Druw Jones from Suwanee, Georgia.
How did Jones look?
Fantastic. It stood out. His hands are so fast.
My pops played in the league for a long time. Druw Jones, 10-time Gold Glover. Just trying to do what I can to be better than him most of the time. I know there's always going to be competition or whatever. Are you as good as your dad? Are you going to be as good as your dad? But I just mainly try and focus on my game and what I can do.
And he can run, and he has a strong arm, and he has a good swing, and he has all this raw power.
Druw Jones, it's my time to shine.
The reason I love the high school All-American game is you get a chance to see these guys in their junior year before their senior year. And Druw Jones wasn't even the talk of the town last year. But when you saw him run, you went next level, elite. But the bat has come along as well. So you knew he was going to defend. He could catch, he could throw, he could run. But this started to open people's eyes when he started to drive the baseball and really be able to do it. The speed is incredible. The range is outstanding. So I love the fact that he's got all that in his arsenal, and he throws. And I love the fact, watching him a lot, getting cutoff men, understanding how to play the game. And playing a lot of games in Georgia this year, really, the reps help. But to me, when you start talking about the bloodlines and all that stuff, we're talking about a kid who's 18 years old, and his dad was in the big leagues at 19. And here's Andrew at 19 doing this in a World Series, tearing up the Yankees, even though the Braves end up losing this series, but he did his part. But that was at 19 years old. So I think sometimes we put the expectation like, oh man, his dad's a big leaguer and his dad should be a Hall of Famer if you ask me. He's going to be at that level. He's still got a little ways to go to get to his dad, but what talent are we talking about?
I'm telling you,
Wow,
he's a special guy. Tony, you know, he committed to play college baseball at Vanderbilt. Chances of that happening slim to none. He's the #2 pick by the Diamondbacks. How early was he on college staff's radars, Druw Jones?
When he was a freshman, and unfortunately, he's not an outlier. That's kind of become a common theme for college baseball in general, but he was one that stood out that was a no-doubter, could play in our league or any league in the country right away. And of course, as you start to follow his career like some of these other kids, you realize he's probably not going to end up on a campus.
No, this is a terrific
And Tony's
talent.
crushed about that, by the way. That he's
yeah.
Vandy
They wanted to see him at a Vandy Uni.
I'll be all right.
This was the fit. You said this before the pick was made. You saw Druw Jones as the perfect fit.
You know, I think you start to see patterns of what organizations do year in and year out. I think the Diamondbacks have been an incredibly consistent drafting organization, and I commend them for that. I think they know what they like. They stay true to what their scouting absolutes are, and he fits that profile perfectly for them.
And you know, Jim Callis, when we opened our coverage, we said there are like 5 guys that could be in the mix to be #1. So when you've got 5 guys that talented, the Diamondbacks are celebrating what feels like a #1 overall pick tonight.
Yeah, I think Druw Jones was the consensus best player for most teams in the draft. And the only thing, we kept talking about how much uncertainty there was at the top of the draft, and there's going to be, I'm sure, some surprises. The only sure thing was that if Druw Jones got to #2, the Diamondbacks were taking him at 1. Everybody knew they wanted him. You guys ran him down pretty well. I mean, the easy comp is his dad. He reminds you of the Gold Glove potential in center field. The power-speed combination's outstanding. It's funny. I think his tools are so good that people overlook the hitting ability. There's hitting ability in there, too.